Hi, this morning we're going to talk about our slant tip machetes. These slant tip machetes have been overlooked, I think, by a lot of people, and they're really an awesome machete style that's quite popular in many parts of the world. Right here, this is the 18-inch model. It weighs about 18 ounces, and the balance point is clear up here, 6 inches, at least 6 inches in front of the guard part of the handle right there. So it has tremendous weight forward balance. And at 18 ounces, this is pretty fast. So this is ideal for chopping, and it's more slanted, if you will, towards chopping than it is cutting. But because it only weighs 18 ounces, it can also cut light whippy branches and thick grass and jungle vines and stuff like that. You've got a lot of blade speed with it, which is what you need to get through thin whippy stuff like thorn branches and stuff like that, like we have in Texas on my ranch. And this thing will just slide right through them and part them very easily. So it's got a wide point here at the end, and it's narrow here. So the weight is towards the end. And one thing that sets this apart from other machete styles is that you have this straight edge that goes all the way out to the tip. So you can cut very accurately even with the tip. So you can do real precision work with this machete. We also have it in the 21-inch version. And this one weighs about 36 ounces, 36.4 ounces. And look at the balance point on this. That's almost probably very close to 7.5 to 8 inches in front of the handle here. So it's got a real decided weight forward balance that you can really feel that blade drop when you swing it. And don't be afraid to experiment with these machetes. They're inexpensive, you know. You can increase their cutting power by tapering the blade more. You come in here with your belt grinder and you thin this out through here, okay? and get a nice slow taper going, and then put your bevel on, and it'll cut even better. But we outfit these right now with this shorter bevel because that's ideal for heavy chopping. So that's the long suit of this machete, is chopping thick branches and brambles and thick vines and thick vegetation and bushes and branches. And you can even chop down small trees with this if you use it judiciously. I wouldn't go at a 12-inch diameter hardwood tree with all my might, but I believe you can cut it down, and I have cut them down in Africa with this machete. You just go a little bit slower and don't go all heave-ho on it, and your machete will last and cut it down. The other thing I want to talk about, this slant point, that's really cool, is this point precedes your cut. When you swing this forward, if you want to use this, you can drive that point in. This point right through here, this section right here, or even sometimes it penetrates this way, this whole section can be driven right into your target. You know, normally to get something to penetrate, you have to stab. But with this one, you can actually get it to penetrate by a hammer type blow or a hacking blow, which really gives you tremendous penetration. You can do this a lot harder than you can stab. So you can slam that point through almost anything. If you use it for self-defense, it'll go right through a skull, it'll go right through a rib cage, it'll go right through a hip bone. There's really nothing that's going to stand in front of that point when you land like that. So as the extension of your swing, bang, and you drive this point in, and in my experience, and you'll see on the video, it'll penetrate somewhere this deep, somewhere in here. So you'll get arguably 6 or 7 inches deep penetration, maybe 5 or 6 inches deep and 6 or 7 inches long, maybe even a little longer. So it makes a tremendous impact when you hit on that tip, this point right there, bang. And when you land on here, you've got that tremendous weight forward balance to cleave through almost anything. So this is why it's so popular in Africa. This is used, they call this a corn knife, and after they pick the corn and they chop down the stalks, they'll go through the field and they'll take all the stalks down for cattle feed, and they'll cut them all down with the slant tip that they call a corn knife. So I offer it in an 8-inch, a 21-inch, and then we have the two-handed model, the ATC, that we've had for quite a while now, and it's really pretty darn awesome. Drag that point out of there. This is really the bad boy of rock and roll. I mean, again, 7.5 inches in front of the handle, and this one weighs 36 ounces, a full 1.5 pounds, and you can really feel, when you swing this forward, you'll feel that blade take the weight into that cut. That weight will really drive that edge in. So you can strike tremendous blows with this thing. You can see me in other videos. I've done a lot of big cuts with this, and I illustrate some of them in this video that you're watching here. And the same thing, you can use this point and drive it in like this. That whole point will enter. So it can be used for self-defense, and it's a tremendous work tool. Lots of times when I'm in Africa, the game scouts and stuff, we're cutting trails, there'll be a big argument over who gets to use this because it's tremendous chopping and slashing ability. Maybe not ideal for thin jungle vines and whippy vines because it's pretty ponderous compared to the 18-inch model. This one you're going to have a lot more blade speed. But if you've got heavy chopping to do, or you need one all-arounder, I recommend the ATC with the two-handed grip. And the 21-inch is also no slouch for heavy chopping. That huge weight forward balance here will get it just right there. You can see how much weight is going forward into your cut. And even at that though, at 24 ounces, this is still, even though it's got weight forward, it's not unrecoverable. It's pretty fast. I can recover this thing and move it pretty darn quickly. But I love that. And this is what's been way underestimated, under-talked about, is I love that weight forward hit at the end. It's just tremendous. And a lot of swords will have a hard time duplicating that feel with the weight forward and also being so facile and maneuverable. So I really encourage you to look at these slant tip machetes. They come with really nice sheaths, and it has that open back with the double strap retainer. This is something I devised a long time ago for wide point blades that all the competition has copied. You can see virtually everybody is using this open back, and just, they don't have any imagination, you know. They don't know how to figure anything out, they just have to copy. But anyways, this is something I devised to accommodate and make sheaths work where the front of the point is wider than the back. And it works really well. And like I said, you'll see it copied everywhere. So look into the slant tip machete. The sheath's got injection molded tip protectors on every one, so it's a very safe, well-made sheath, and I think a tremendous value for the money asked.